Hello everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be stripping an RA40. It's shitty weather outside, so I thought I'd start the video in here. I just got this car delivered yesterday along with another RA40 I've got here, so two I'll be getting rid of altogether. And they're both coupes, they're both pretty fucking rusty. I need the interior out of this white one, so I'm going to power strip it today, keep the interior because it's black interior, which is pretty bloody rare, and eventually fit it to this. And I figured it'd be a great opportunity to film it and give you some tips on pulling apart RA40s. So I'm going to go out there into the shitty weather now and get started. These are the cars I'm going to be stripping. This one particularly I'm happy about because I bought it sight unseen. I tend to do that a lot, buy things without fucking seeing it. And it's got black interior. And it's not painted either. I thought it might have been painted, but it's definitely black interior. Idea is to strip this thing today and strip the yellow one too, because the yellow one's nearly finished. These seats are pretty cool. I don't know what they're out of. I thought MA70 or GZ20, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I might not keep these. I'm a bit bummed it doesn't have the original black seats, but I've got a set of black seats in the storage shed, so. So now you can see a bit better the condition of the interior in this thing. It's pretty fucking awesome, considering this car sat in one spot for about 12 years. Now one thing I did want to do was get in here and unlock the boot, because there's stuff in the boot. Let's see if I can unlock it with this. If I can get that latch. There we go. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's not exactly a good way to open a boot. But I mean, this didn't have the key, so one thing I want to do though is remove the frickin' lock, so that way I can open the boot easier if I need to. Now it looks like there's some interesting stuff in here. There's spare struts, spare LCAs. For some reason there's some Borg Warner diff parts. Oh! I've got one of these already because I got it for NooB when I planned on doing 3T conversion. What this is the GTs and the MA45s have it. Right, it's a plate that goes right here in the floor, so you can get to the fuel pump. So you don't have to drop the tank to swap your fuel pump. Pretty useful. They go right in there. So, and there's some twin piston Sumitomo calipers just sitting here. They're a bit crusty, but that looks like a RT142 rear disc setup. Yeah, Gerlock with the hats and everything. So there's a rear disc setup in here. Awesome. Awesome. It's really starting to rain now though, which sucks. Alright, I'm gonna have to sort this out. It's fucking raining. Well, it's shitty weather out here. I'm gonna have to postpone stripping these cars. I think it's just too wet and crappy outside, so.
Day 2.
It's a new day, Sapphire. You know what that means. We gotta strip this Celica. Now it's still shitty weather, but it's not pissing down raining. So this will give us the opportunity to hopefully finish this. Get the door cards out and stashed away safely in the map drawers. While I'm doing it, I'll probably give a few tips on how to remove some things from RA40s. So we'll get stuck into it. Now, one thing I should note quickly is yesterday I pulled the back seat out to open the boot and have a look at what was in there, and I probably should have explained how to do that It's very basic though. I do get asked a lot, mainly for lift back, but lift back's a little bit more complicated. The coupes though are just these clips here. You don't even have to do anything to these clips. You can actually just lift the seat out on both sides and then slide it towards the front of the car and take it out. And then as for the back, they usually have loops around these bolts here. So if you loosen these off or take them off entirely, you can then lift this back section of the seat up off of these hooks that it's mounted to. So the back seats and coupes are very basic, and majority of Toyotas are basically the same setup as long as they don't have fold down seats. They're that exact same setup with the hooks and then the arms that are wrapped around bolts. K70s are the same, except they usually have a loop here that's bolted down closer to where the back door is. But yeah, so all Toyotas use the same setups essentially. First thing I wanted to do in here was get the door cards off. They're not exactly mint, a couple of tears around there, but I mean, black interior is fucking hard to find in Australia, so I'm going to take these out and keep them anyway. Eventually I'll probably swap NooB's interior to black. We'll see. Now, undoing door cards is fun. You know. Now, popping these out, try not lever on the armrest itself, otherwise you can leave an indentation. Get the flat blade behind it and pull, don't lever. It's a shame this is broken, but they're all broken. It's funny because the black ones are the only ones you can actually buy new still. I'm not sure if Toyota does them, or if they're only an aftermarket thing, but I know you can get the black surrounds new still. Now, to take the door card off, you have to have the window down. Otherwise this just ends up pressing against the window and it doesn't work. And you have to remove this, which normally has a little circlip behind there. These little plastic guard things going all crispy as normal. So I like to put a flat blade screwdriver behind there and then turn the window crank like that, and then the clip flies somewhere and you can't bloody find the thing. These little bastards, man. There's a couple other methods that people use, which is using a rag and seesawing it to get these clips, which I never actually thought of until that was suggested. It's a good idea, but I've always just done the flat blade. It works. That's what I use. I'll stick to it. Now, pulling the door cards off can be pretty nerve-wracking, but if you just put a flat blade in there, carefully of course, and get it behind each clip, you can just pop the clips off gently, very gently. There's actual tools that exist for this, but there's actual tools that exist for the window winder too, but seriously, you can do so much with just a freaking flat blade. It saves you buying a tool. I mean, the tools are cheap, but this does perfectly fine as long as you know what you're doing. Alright, last one is up here, right there. Alright, that's the door card off. Just lift it up over that. Done. Look at that. All clips intact. That's how you do it. Wind the window back up for now because we don't want anything else getting water damaged in case it rains. That's one side done. That's how you do the door cards. Again, don't lever against the door handle. Just pop these out like that. You'd rather want to go hunting for wherever that flies than wreck your door handles that are bloody hard to get. This door bezel's broken. That's pretty friggin' normal for the old RA40s. Door handle. window winder. That time the clip didn't go flying. Wind that all the way down under the corner. Work your way up. Pop all those off carefully and then just lift this up over off of that hook there. Yep, all clips intact. You just got to be careful unhooking these off of here. They're clipped onto these. They just slide off. You just lift them up and slide them off. But that's pretty basic. Yeah, all clips intact. Alright, I'm going to go put those away so they're protected from the elements. They're not mint, but they're pretty nice. You know, I mean, the door cards that are in NooB now aren't mint anyway. Yeah, these are pretty nice. I think they'll clean up well. All these little white marks should wash off just fine. So yeah, alright, I'll go stash these. Seriously, map drawers is like probably one of the best things I've ever purchased for storing door cards, because they fit perfectly. Celica door cards do anyway. Lay them down, push them right to the back. Still got tons of room at the front for anything else that needs to lay flat. The other one's in there. I've got tan ones all the way down to here. That's the plate that goes on the back of the Series A between the tail lights. It says Celica. I'll probably just put a photo up so you can see what it looks like instead of unwrapping it. The GT door cards are in here. Like, yeah, this was one of the best things I've ever bought. One of the best things I've ever gotten is for storing door cards. It just, such a good job. Keeps them nice and flat so they don't warp. But yeah, anyway, back to work. So, where to now? It's probably best to start from the back and work forward. The parcel shelf looks a bit out of shape. I mean, the parcel shelf I'm not keen on keeping anyway, because it's had holes cut in it. C-pillars and stuff I'll go for. This will probably get a bit noisy. Seatbelt out of the way. We'll take this panel off to get to the C-pillar trims back there. Now these, it's not often I can get these off without breaking them. They're such a prick, and I'm actually looking at making reproductions of these with a slit in them, so you slide them on to the seatbelt. You don't have to thread your seatbelt through them. Yeah, these can be a pain in the ass, so I'm going to set the camera up and you can watch me fail. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. Just sit on the parcel shelf there and watch me fail, folks. Watch me fail. The issue with these is where the clips are placed. Where they're placed is such a prick to get to, and I'll show you if I can get it off without breaking it. And they turn so brittle, like everything in these freaking cars, that it's impossible to fucking get them out. There's one clip. There's two that aren't broken, so far so good. I actually did that without breaking it. Alright, so I don't know if you could see from that shot there or not, but these clips are such a pain in the ass to get to, and majority of the time they just break straight away. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised I got to those and managed to push them in without them breaking. Yeah, I was trying to make funny content there and watch me fucking fail, but I succeeded. So, but now we'll undo the Phillips heads to get that off of there. Undo this, and down here I'll take this panel out. That is a nice trim. It's a very nice trim, and that's some nice rust. Now, coupes are notorious for the window frames rusting out. It's just the design of it. It's a silly design, really. I'll probably go more in depth once I pull the windows out. Oh god, what's this rubbish jammed in here? Looks like they tried to stop a bloody leak with it. People do some weird things trying to save their cars, but they actually just make it worse. C-pillar is pretty straightforward on the coupe. It's just 2 screws. Done. These are pretty easy as well. These just sort of peel off. I haven't got many black ones, so that's awesome. Close this again. Don't want the weather getting in here. Pop that out. Ugga dugga. Chuck that down there for now. Already halfway there. As if somebody started undoing all the screws and then couldn't work out where the rest were. That's bloody nice. That's bloody nice, man. A lot of the trims in this are nice. Take this little trim off here. Yeah, this little trim. Once you undo the 2 Phillips heads, it's actually held in with this clip too. So just pop that out and you're good to go. But I'd rather not break the trim. There we go. There we go. Take your seat belts off. Don't let them retract. If they even want to retract, this one feels like it's a bit lost all its tension. Don't let them retract all the way. Otherwise they lock up. What you want to do is just wrap them up. Keep the tension on them. This way you can store them without them locking up on you. And you just leave them like that. That's all you have to do. Leave them just like that. One of the things I've never seen on an RA40 that's come through here, and I've had many RA40s come through here, there's this hook that holds the belt still intact. I've never seen one. That is still in place, not cracked, not broken. That is another item I want to be reproducing so people can fit them to their belts and have the belts in their coupes hang up like they're supposed to. Alright, let's see if I can get this one off. This one feels tighter. There you go, that's the back one. This one's gonna break, man. I can feel it. As you may have guessed, these things can be pretty fiddly. But I just got another one off without breaking it. Here I am trying to tell you they're a bitch to get off, and I managed to get both off without breaking them. That's awkward. Trust me though, you will break them. I swear on my life, you will break them. It's just, they just break. They just break. They're weak from the factory. Okay, this side is pretty much at the same stage as this one now. Typical coupe rust, especially back there. But for now, we're gonna get the parcel shelf out. I want to try and get it out in one piece still, because these and those vents that go over where the hinges are very hard to find. These ones already look brittle, like they're about to fall apart. I've got some spares. They're another piece I'm looking to reproduce. I'm hoping I can get the parcel shelf out to carefully remove these. These little plugs that hold the parcel shelf in can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but I'll see how I go with it. Just broke one. Just broke two. Just broke three. Oh man, I'm trying to do this carefully too. Why do I bother? Lucky last. I got 2 out without breaking them. 2 of 6 are out without breaking them. So now this should just slide out, no worries. Water damage on this side, which you can see, that's dripping. This wasn't actually that bad. It might still be a good template for copying. But the reason you have to be careful pulling the parcel shelf out is to get these little clips off. And I have a feeling I'm going to break those anyway, because look at that thin plastic, man. That's just going to... As soon as I try pulling those little metal clips off, they're just going to fucking break. I might be better off cutting up the parcel shelf to get these out, because I mean this one's already broken. Look how brittle they get. I don't know if you can see all those cracks or not. I don't know if the GoPro will focus on it. These just go so brittle because they're on the parcel shelf. They're in the sun all the time. That was exactly what I meant. That was exactly what I meant. I literally I touched it and it fucking... Look at this. They're just, yeah, they go to shit. This is why I need to reproduce these and these, because they're so fucking hard to find for the coops. But yeah, so that's parcel shelf out. Now we'll move on to the front end. Right. Start with the steering wheel. Start with the steering wheel, unwind it just enough to pull this off. Keep the nut on there so that way you don't whack yourself in the face with the steering wheel. And just slowly wiggle it. Every Toyota I use that method. They are not far off breaking. Very small crack in there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. It's hard to find these still complete in one piece. I'd like to reproduce these too, but they might be a bit more complicated. We'll see. We'll see. I'm getting a 3D printer soon. I'm gonna have to start practicing using the 3D printer. I've made molds before and usually done reproducing parts that way. It's way too time consuming and tedious though. If people want something, they want it now. So even though it produces really high quality, if you get a good mold, it's too tedious. It's way too tedious. Now, I've literally got hundreds of these. I still keep things though. I like to hold on to things, you know. There's not much holding this in. This whole dash fascia is fucked, but it's still got some good parts in it. Like these actually have pretty good text on them. You hardly ever see them. These blanking plates, impossible to get. I'll be keeping this for spares. Now I'm hoping the loom in this is good. The loom out of the yellow coupe was mint, so I kept that. There was no cuts in it or anything. But this thing might be a different story because it's got some weird things happening. It's got a little LED light here, so I don't know if there's actually a yeah. Random things. I think I should get rid of the center console next though. Normally what you would do is take the ashtray out and undo the screws in here, but they're loose anyway. Handbrake's doing nothing. This one will be very nice once it's fixed. It's got a crack through here, very small crack, but I reckon if I fix that now, that'll be fine. See, normally you would have screws in each side here too, but there's none. There's none. Somebody started stripping this thing and never finished. There's another one of those blanks. They're pretty hard to find. Has some warping here, which sucks. But other than that, this is in good nick with no cracks on any of the mounts. Okay. I've got heaps of these as well. Now this glove box door, the hinge is broken, but you can swap the door faces over onto any other hinge really. And the face is fine, it's just the hinge is broken. But if you get a very tiny Phillips head and undo all these Phillips head screws, you can swap the face. It's starting to get pretty dark outside. Might have to call it quits soon. I started pretty late today because I had to do a whole bunch of deliveries. Well, I had to package up a bunch of items to go to Ozpost around the corner there. You'd be surprised how much time it takes to package 10 items. It takes a few hours, you know, and then your morning's friggin' gone. Alright, pull the light out there. Glove box actually isn't that bad. This has an aftermarket aircon. There's normally nuts holding on the dash pad up here, as well as Phillips heads along here, but there's nothing holding this pad on. There's nothing holding the pad on. But I have to get the B pillars off. I have to get these B pillars off, and being Series B, they don't have screws, they have clips. And there's no way to get the clips off easily. Most of the time they just freaking break. Both clips intact, so that's alright. That's alright, we'll see if I can get this one off the same way. This one's on there tighter. This B pillar's got a split down here though. It sucks. The clips are intact, but there's a split there. That could probably be fixed. Fiberglass that could probably be fixed quite easily, as long as it stays in one piece. Now, this, I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, this used to be a brown dash pad underneath, and they've glued vinyl over the top. Now of course when you make it thicker it doesn't fit anything properly, so that's obviously the trouble they've had. Yeah, brown dash pad. They've even put foam padding in there. This one I'm not going to keep. I've got a few of these that are fine, so I might just, this one's rubbish. I'm not going to hold on to everything. Just most RA40 crap. Now to pull this out is just a matter of undoing all the Phillips heads that are holding things. Taking the dash frame out, there are 10 mils on each side, 10 mil nuts that are holding it on under there. I nearly forgot these ones. I nearly forgot these two that sit right here under the dash cluster. What's going on here? Alright. That is it, guys. That's the dash frame out. Dash frame's out. Now, unfortunately, the other day I ran out of light. It was getting pretty dark, which you could probably tell on the video. It was hard to see certain things. So I've had to stop. Today is a new day. I might make a start on the rest of the car, but the video is already pretty long. The amount of footage I already have is getting pretty ridiculous. So I'm probably gonna have to cut this episode short here, and I might have to do a part 2. I was hoping to strip the whole car in one episode, but I mean, after I've started editing together all the video, it's already a 20-minute long video and it's not even finished just yet. I have to start doing shorter videos too. I can't keep doing this to viewers, making you watch 40-minute videos. It's just getting ridiculous. So with that said, that's the end of the episode for now. I'm pretty happy with all the parts that I've scored. It was an awesome purchase getting this car just for the black interior. The amount of parts it came with, a full interior plus spares, was just unreal. Now I've got multiples of black interior parts. So these parts pictured right now will be stored with all the other black interior stuff I have until I'm ready to swap the interior into NooB. If you found this episode helpful at all, stripping your RA40, or just found it interesting, please like and subscribe. It really helps out. Be sure to keep an eye out for more episodes. If you like the content, let me know. It'd be good to know if people would like this done for other Toyotas, because I'm going to do this for probably every Toyota I strip. I think that's it for now, guys. Catch us later.